In a small, fog-shrouded town, there was a legend about the old Whitaker house at the end of Willow Street. It was said that on Halloween night, the spirits of the house's former occupants roamed the halls, searching for a way to escape their eternal torment. Despite the warnings, a group of teenagers decided to test their courage. They dared each other to enter the house, armed with flashlights and bravado. As they creaked open the front door, a chilling breeze swept past them, and the air grew heavy with a sense of dread. Inside, the walls were lined with peeling wallpaper and faded portraits that seemed to watch their every move. They split into pairs, each exploring different rooms, daring each other to go deeper. Laughter turned to nervous whispers as they uncovered old furniture draped in sheets, and dust motes danced in the beams of their flashlights. In the basement, Sarah and Jake found a rusted iron door. Curiosity got the better of them and they pried it open, revealing a narrow staircase leading down into darkness. The air grew colder and a faint sound like distant sobbing echoed from below. Meanwhile, Lily and Mark stumbled upon a dusty living room where a grand piano sat, untouched. As Lily approached, her fingers brushed against the keys, and a haunting melody filled the air, an otherworldly song that seemed to awaken the house. Suddenly, the lights flickered, and shadows began to move, coalescing into twisted shapes. Back in the basement, Sarah and Jake heard the sobbing grow louder. It was coming from a small, dimly lit room at the bottom of the stairs. They hesitated, fear creeping in, but they pressed on, drawn by an inexplicable force. When they entered, they found an old mirror standing against the wall, its surface rippling like water. In the reflection, they saw not their own faces, but the tortured expressions of the Whitaker family, their eyes wide with sorrow. "Help us," they whispered in unison, their mouths forming words that sent chills down their spines. Panicking, Sarah and Jake turned to flee, but the door slammed shut, trapping them inside. Meanwhile, Lily and Mark, now separated from their friends, felt the ground beneath them tremble as the house seemed to come alive. The piano played on, its melody growing frantic, while ghostly figures began to swirl around them. Realizing the danger, Lily called out for Sarah and Jake, but the only response was the echo of their own voices. The sobbing intensified, merging with the piano's haunting tune. In a moment of desperation, Mark grabbed Lily's hand and they rushed toward the front door. As they reached it, the door wouldn't budge. It felt as though something was holding it shut from the other side. They turned back, seeing the spectral figures closing in, their faces twisted in anguish. "Let us go!" Mark shouted, and in that instant, the house shook violently. The spirits wailed, and the air crackled with energy. Then, just as suddenly as it had begun, the door swung open. Lily and Mark bolted outside, gasping for breath, but the night was eerily still. The house loomed behind them, dark and silent once more. They looked around, desperately searching for their friends, but Sarah and Jake were nowhere to be found. As the moon rose higher, the whispers began again, echoing through the trees. "Help us," they pleaded, a chilling reminder that some spirits never find peace. The teenagers had entered the Whitaker house seeking thrills, but they left with the weight of its sorrow hanging heavy in the air, and a haunting question: what had become of their friends in the darkness?